Hi everybody, welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. I'm your host Chaz Andres, and let's start with the news. Now, I was going to spend the week talking about some of my favorite cards from Ixalan, which is looking a lot better this week, but there's a giant story coming out of HasCon. That's right, we finally have our first real look at Magic the Gathering Arena. Now, I was expecting Arena to look cool, and I wasn't disappointed. The graphics are neat, the sound effects are nice, it plays little animations when you cast Mythic Rares. It looks for all the world like a Hearthstone-style client, which is what we all expected. The thing that was new, the thing I didn't expect to see, was that the development team has promised the full Magic rule set. That is huge. Is this really the future for all digital Magic? Is this the point where you should be selling your Magic Online collection because we're all just going to be playing Arena a year from now? I wouldn't cash out yet. First of all, we still really don't know what Arena's capable of. Are the drafts going to be real Magic style drafts, or is it going to be something more like what Hearthstone offers? Can it handle stack implementation? Can it handle a Storm deck? Can it handle making 150 Vampire tokens? We just don't know yet, it's too early to say. And even if Arena is all that in a bag of chips, it's gonna take them years to program in all the sets that make up Modern, all the sets that make up Legacy, all of the Vintage cards, and that's even if that stuff is possible. We're looking at a very, very, very long time before Arena is even potentially capable of doing everything that Magic Online can do right now. The thing that could happen is that a lot of the draft and standard play could move over to Arena once it leaves beta, maybe a year from now. And if that happens, it could have some really weird implications for the economy, and I'll get to that as it develops. But for now, Magic Online is going to continue being supported for Modern and Legacy, and that is not going to change anytime soon. If you want to play those formats, you need to stay with the tried and trusted and slightly broken program we all know and kinda love. Moving on to gaining ground, where Standard had a relatively quiet week. The card that gained the most ground was actually an old favorite, Heart of Kiran, which jumped 2 tickets from 9 up to about 11. Now, we are in a lame duck Standard format until Ixalan drops, but it's worth noting that Mardu Vehicles has actually regained a lot of ground. It's adjusted some to fit the metagame, and it even took down a Grand Prix last weekend. It is not the descending deck it was a couple of weeks ago. This gain is only going to stick if Heart of Kiran remains desirable after rotation though, and it really does seem like it will. Even if Mardu Vehicles doesn't survive, some deck will find a use for that powerful card. And that's why I think this small blip could actually be the start of a bigger trend. Now, the card that gained the most ground in Modern this week is actually from Alpha, the very first set in the history of Magic. It's Psionic Blast, a blue direct damage spell, and it was kicking around very close to bulk for a very long time, but it surged to just over 5 tickets this week. And that's because Saffron Olive, the famous and awesome streamer on MTG Goldfish, put together a really cool budget deck in Modern called Favorable Winds that attacks the format with a series of small blue flyers. If you believe that Favorable Winds has some real game in Modern, there are a couple of other interesting spec targets. Grand Architect is a 4-of in the deck, it's gone up in price a little bit. Smuggler's Copter, a very powerful card, is a 4-of there as well, and it spiked a little bit too. But in my experience, these Saffron Olive decks, as cool as they are, tend to be a financial flash in the pan. The biggest loser in Standard should not really come as much of a surprise. That 50-ticket Mythic, Liliana the Last Hope, down to 30 last week, down another 5 tickets this week to about 25. Now, based on the price charts I'm seeing, it's not done falling yet. It's approaching rotation, it was the most expensive card in the format, people are still selling out. But here's the thing, Liliana the Last Hope does see a lot of play in Modern. When it does hit bottom, it is going to be a great long-term hold. I'm going to continue monitoring the situation, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you the exact right time to buy back in. Now, in Modern, there was no one biggest loser. A lot of cards dropped in price thanks to their impending reprint in Iconic Masters. Ancestral Vision dropped 6 tickets from 17 to 11, Mishra's Bauble dropped 5 tickets from 13 to 8, Horizon Canopy dropped 4, going from 37 down to 33, and even the Venerable Thoughtseize dropped 3 tickets from 37 down to 34. So don't forget to check out that Iconic Master spoiler, because a lot of these cards still have further to drop. and once the set actually releases on MTGO, that's exactly what's going to happen. Now today's sneak of the week is Blood Moon. Blood Moon was as high as 50 tickets late last year, but it bottomed out around 14 tickets when it was reprinted in Modern Masters 2017. It's back up to 24 tickets right now, and since it dodged a reprint in Iconic Masters, it looks like it's on target to hit 30 tickets by the end of the year. If you've been holding out on acquiring a copy, now is the time. Now I finish off each week by taking a look at the MTGO Traders hotlist. These are the cards that MTGO Traders is paying a little bit extra for because they're in high demand. You can find the list yourself at mtgotraders.com/hotlist or on Magic Online at hotlistbot or hotlistbot2. Now this week I thought I'd take a quick look at the commons that are currently selling for at least a ticket on the hotlist. And the reason why I really like talking about commons is they end up kicking around the back of my trade binder and I don't really think about. Some of them I've had 10 or 11 copies of just because I drafted a lot several years ago, and now they're suddenly worth something. So if you're looking for a way to pick up a couple of extra tickets, maybe squeeze in an extra draft or two before the format shifts, this is a good way to find some value that you might not otherwise know about. One card you might not know much about is Tattered Mummy. It's from Amonkhet, but it wasn't actually in Amonkhet. It was only released in the Planeswalker deck. Online, you may have opened it up in a treasure chest, seen the common symbol, and not realized you had a card that's actually worth something. Also above that 1 ticket threshold, Searing Blaze and Flame Rift. If you built a burn deck at any point, you probably have these somewhere in your collection. Also worth more than a ticket, some of the versions of the Ursa Tron lands. Now these were commons back in some of the Masters Edition sets, and they were actually good in those limited formats. So there's a chance that you have a bunch of these still kicking around somewhere. That's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and join me next Monday morning for your weekly Magic Online finance update.